Imagine a city with walls that reach the heavens, a fortress known as Troy, echoing with glory and pride. And, in the distance, a massive army of Greece's bravest warriors, marching with unyielding vengeance. In this war that will echo through eternity, mortals will face gods and legends will be born. What passions, betrayals, and prophecies ignited this flame of destruction? And what will happen when the legendary wooden horse reaches the gates of Troy? Get ready, because we're about to relive the battle that still resonates today. I'm Yosemar, and this is the Spectrum of History. In the golden halls of Mount Olympus, where gods shaped the fate of mankind, a single act of vanity sparked one of the ancient world's most devastating conflicts. Eris, the goddess of discord, rejected and scorned, threw down a golden apple inscribed, "To the fairest." Three powerful goddesses, Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite, clamored for the title with a fury even Olympus couldn't contain. They chose Paris, a prince of Troy, as their judge. Each goddess offered him a tempting prize: unmatched power, unrivaled wisdom, or the love of the world's most beautiful woman. Blinded by desire, Paris chose Aphrodite and, in return, won the heart of Helen, the queen of Sparta, already married to King Menelaus. The forbidden love of the prince and queen began a cycle of destruction. She fled to Troy, sparking a war fueled not only by love but by pride, vengeance, and prophecy. Across the Aegean Sea, Menelaus, the king of Sparta, burned with rage upon learning of Helen's flight. He called on his brother Agamemnon, the powerful king of Mycenae, who aimed not just to restore family honor, but to conquer Troy itself. Agamemnon gathered kings and warriors, uniting Greece's city-states to unleash an unstoppable force against Troy. Among them were names destined to echo through the ages: Achilles, the greatest of all fighters, seeking eternal glory; Odysseus, the cunning king of Ithaca, whose sharp intellect contrasted with the brutality of war; and Ajax, the towering warrior who wielded his spear like an extension of his soul. Blessed by the gods and bound by fate, these men embarked toward Troy with a single purpose: to bring Helen back or die trying. Greek ships anchored before Troy's towering walls, and the sight of the city's grandeur stirred both fear and ambition. Built with divine hands, Troy seemed unbreakable. For 10 long years, the Greeks laid siege, each side waiting for a crack, a sign of weakness. The battles were brutal and relentless, with the fields between Troy's walls and the Greeks' encampment transformed into a deadly dance floor. On one side, the invincible Achilles cut down all who dared cross his path, his armor gleaming in the sun as an omen of death. On the other, Hector, prince of Troy, defended his homeland with honor, a less ruthless yet equally formidable warrior. The balance between these two heroes cast a shadow over all, and the daily clashes drained the strength of men on both sides. The war became a spectacle of sacrifice, pain, and honor, where each Greek and Trojan hero fought not only for victory, but for the eternity of his name. On a sunlit afternoon, a war cry shook the battlefield. Achilles, driven by a thirst for vengeance, faced Hector, the warrior whose blood nourished Troy's roots. Their duel was a breathtaking show of strength, agility, and fate. The fight was fierce and desperate, with each blow resonating in the hearts of both armies watching in silence. In a display of skill, Achilles triumphed, but glory was paired with sorrow. Dragging Hector's body around Troy's walls, Achilles defied not only the city, but the gods. This act of desecration sealed his fate. Achilles became both a hero and a villain, a symbol of bravery and unchecked ambition that invited tragedy upon himself. After the tragic duel, Priam, the king of Troy and father of Hector, displayed courage worthy of a king as he approached Achilles. On a cold night, he crossed the Greek camp, his heart heavy and face marked by sorrow. Kneeling before Achilles, he begged for his son's body, so Hector could receive a proper burial and his soul could find peace. It was a rare moment of humanity in the war. Priam's sorrow moved Achilles, who for the first time confronted the weight of his actions. He agreed to return Hector's body, allowing a brief truce. But the peace was fleeting, and the war soon resumed with greater ferocity, as if even the gods were drawn to mankind's madness. As the siege stretched on with no end in sight, Odysseus, known for his cunning, proposed a solution that would be etched into history: the Trojan Horse. An apparent offering of surrender, it was, in truth, a deadly trap. At dusk, the Greeks withdrew, leaving the massive wooden horse at Troy's gates. The Trojans, weary of war and eager for victory, brought the gift inside the city, while Odysseus and a select group of warriors hid within the horse's belly. As night fell, a heavy silence covered the city, unaware that its doom was close at hand. In the dead of night, while Troy slept peacefully, the warriors hidden in the Trojan horse emerged from the shadows. They opened the city gates for the Greek forces, who returned under the cover of darkness. Troy was caught in its moment of greatest vulnerability. Flames engulfed temples and palaces. The streets became a battlefield, and cries of terror echoed off the once impenetrable walls. Men, women, and children scrambled to escape the horror, but the Greeks, hungry for victory and vengeance, showed no mercy. This was Troy's end. The city that resisted Greece for a decade fell in a single night. With Troy in ruins, the Greek heroes departed victorious, yet victory cost them more than they had bargained for. Curses and tragedies awaited many on their journey home. Odysseus, mastermind of the horse, was condemned by the gods to a 10-year journey plagued by suffering and trials. Each hero paid the price for his ambition and transgressions, learning that the burden of glory and war surpasses even life itself. Troy lay in ashes, yet its legacy and the sacrifice of its heroes lived on. Men and gods returned to their places, while tales of this war passed down through generations as eternal legends. And so the fires of Troy died down, but the legend remains burning in humanity's memory. More than just a war, Troy's story reflects the desires and flaws that define human nature: pride, forbidden love, the thirst for glory, and the frailty against destiny. In every battle and every sacrifice, the echoes of Troy's heroes remind us that even the mightiest conquerors and bravest warriors are only as immortal as time allows them to be. If you enjoyed this journey through the legends and tragedies of the Trojan War, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it so we can continue exploring the stories that shaped our world together. See you next time.